It's not like they can just chuck everything on a Google Drive or whatever and share it amongst people. I suppose everything's still very difficult and very limited. We're still talking about everything having to be hand typed. I mean, I don't know when the first photocopier came out or the first ability to copy something, but I don't think it was anywhere near then.
I think they're printing it at this stage. I think the actual answer is what Ronnie said, is that they weren't really thinking like campaigners.
No, that's true.
That had an element, a campaigning element, being injected at that early stage, and people started doing like community outreach. I think that we'd be much further on, even when the animal rights movement really got going in the 1970s. You know, like as we've said many times, there was nobody or hardly anyone at all campaigning for veganism. Everyone was campaigning on various single issues, weren't they? Nobody was campaigning for veganism. There was really no outreach. And I think had outreach started way back then and started, you know, at a community level, we'd have far more vegans now, and veganism would be far more advanced now than it is.
There's lots of little anchors in the history of our movement, really, when you think about it.
The use of, for instance, there's this use of so much of cruelty by vegans today, as if to say, go vegan because, you know, the farming of other animals is cruel. Whereas the fundamental reason for being vegan isn't because farming's cruel, although very, very often it is. The fundamental reason is because those animals have been exploited and killed. You know, that's the fundamental reason, isn't it? But the cruelty, this kind of obsession with cruelty, kind of goes way back, and it goes way back to the single issues, because it was really strange that when I went vegan, it wasn't anything to do with cruelty. I didn't really know about factory farming. I didn't know how animals were slaughtered or anything like that. I did know they were killed, and that was why I went vegan, because I thought, why are we killing all these animals when we don't need to? It's obviously wrong, and that's why I went vegan. But then as soon as I got involved in single issue campaigning, like anti-hunt campaigning, anti-vivisection campaigning, the main word used then was cruelty. It was all about cruelty. Mm-hmm. You see, so that goes way back. This focus on cruelty goes way back to those single issue campaigns.
And that's where we've got cruelty free from as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Even though the fundamental wrong that they were dealing with was also the persecution, exploitation, and the killing of other animals. And that happens with hunting. It happens with, you know, someone who experiments on animals could claim, oh, the animals feel no pain, they're anesthetized when we do the procedures. And very often they're not. And we know there's massive suffering involved, but someone doing it could claim, no, my experiments are perfectly humane, there's no suffering. And when the animals are killed at the end of it, they don't feel anything.